Hello, everyone. This is from Milwaukee to Nashville. I'm Daniel Goodwin. And over there is John Lewandowski.
Hello.
We are from Milwaukee to Nashville, brought to you by Hockey Locker 2002 West Howard Avenue, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You can call them at 414-800-7585 or visit their website at hockeylockermilwaukee.com. Our show is also brought to you by Alexa. All like 5%. Haha. All right, before we get into it, I'm going to let John take over here. He has some previous game updates for you, the ones we missed.
Yeah. So for the Predators on January 23rd, they played the Sharks, losing 6-5. Um, they played the Ducks on Saturday the 25th, losing that one 5-2. And yeah, I think that was it till tonight's games.
Correct. And then over the weekend, the Admirals took on yeah, we hadn't covered the Admirals since before the Rockford game.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I think we covered that Rockford game. No, I was sick. Remember, I came back with no voice.
Mm-hmm.
I was just upset. The Admirals beat Rockford 5-4, and then beat Charlotte 4-1 the next night. Not so good, but it was a lot closer. They lose to Charlotte 4-3 in that 4-3 loss. Um, I'm trying to get into a stat here before we get to our game. If it'll load. Oh well, not my problem. Um, in that, like I said, that game, it was very back and forth. The Admirals do have a bit of a no quit attitude this year. Um, I like the way that they played tonight. I'm going to get into that right away and say that I like the way that they played tonight.
Yeah.
They're very playoff, kind of. It's not the kind of game I want every night,
Right.
but if you can give me that defensively every night, other than our power play, we'll get into that. I'll be very happy. So let's get into it a bit from there.
All right. So tonight the Admirals took on the Texas Stars. Shots on goal in the first period. Texas outshoots Milwaukee 9-7. In the second period, Milwaukee outshoots Texas 11-10. In the third period, Texas outshoots Milwaukee 18-10. And in total, Texas outshoots Milwaukee 37-28. Now Texas had 5 infractions for 10 minutes and went 0 for 1 on the power play, while Milwaukee had 2 infractions for 4 minutes and went 1 for 4 on the power play.
All right. Scoring in the first, nothing. Scoring in the second, which is where it all was. Very eventful second.
Yeah.
Scoring in the second, getting his third goal of the season was, I believe that would be Scott Reedy.
It is.
Yep, Scott Reedy on the power play, his third with an assist from Ufko, his ninth, and Chase DeLeo, his second. That is on the power play, and then Kyle Marino scores his fourth, first, his fourth with an assist from Luke Prokop, his third, and is now riding I believe, 2-game point streak. And now I might as well get Texas's goal. Scored shorthanded was Cole Lynn, his 10th with an assist from Luke Chris, his 11th, and Magnus Hellberg, his second.
Yeah.
I believe his other one was against us. Your 3 stars of the game, third star of the game was Kyle Marino with a goal. Second star was Chase DeLeo with an assist, who assisted on the first goal. And then first star was Matt Murray with 36 saves on 37 shots. In net for the Stars, Ray said his name, Magnus Alberg. 26 saves on 28 shots. Did have an assist, so made up for one of them.
Yeah.
As many of you know, I love Magnus Helberg. He is a friend. I'm never gonna I don't talk bad about him. Tonight we went full bore at him. Buddy, know that you wouldn't expect nothing less from us. It's why you acknowledge us when we're there and why you come over. You know where we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know where the loyal fans are. You know who to go say thank you to. Alrighty. On that note, on Friday, if Cal O'Reilly plays, he will be down to 8 games away from 1,000 games.
Yeah.
Don't know the last time I saw that. Um, your referees in the Texas Milwaukee game were Alex Lipowski and Samantha Hiller. Linesmen were Craig Ford and Greg Offerman. Not a good attendance tonight for the Admirals. Um, Not going to overly get into that, but it is what it is. Other than that, alrighty, let's get into this Preds game. All right, so the Preds took on the Vancouver Canucks.
Yep. All right. So, shots on goal in the first period, both teams had 13 shots. In the second period, Nashville outshot Vancouver 8-3. In the third period, they outshot Vancouver 11-6, and in total, they outshot Vancouver 32-22. Nashville was way better on the face-off circle tonight, 66% to Vancouver's 34%. Vancouver went 1 for 3 with 6 penalty minutes, while Nashville goes 0 for 3 with 6 penalty minutes. Nashville out-hit Vancouver 24-19. Vancouver outblocked Nashville 10-7. Nashville had 15 giveaways to Vancouver's 10, and Nashville had 6 takeaways to Vancouver's 3.
Alrighty. Alright. Scoring in the first was Niles Hoglander, his fourth with an assist from Quinn Hughes, his 43rd, and Elias Pettersson his 21st. Then scoring was Tommy Novak, his eighth, with an assist from Zachary Leroux, his ninth, with an assist also from Justin Barrett, his second. Then in the second, Linus Carlson scores his first with an assist from Tyler Myers, his 13th, and Quinn Hughes, his 44th. Then in the third, on the power play empty net, was Pius Suter with an assist from Derek Fobart, his fourth, and JT Miller, his 26th. Preds win the season series 2-1 versus Vancouver, but dropped the final. This will put the Preds in a really tough spot. They're riding a 2-game losing streak while going 6-4-0 in their last 10. They're better than a lot of teams ahead of them, but they're what would you say? So 56, 43. So 43. They're 13 points out of a playoff spot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen, Preds fans. It's just they can go 6-4 the rest of the season, every 10 games, and still miss.
Right.
At this point, it's a pretty much a foregone conclusion on that part. It's looking like the East is pretty man, pretty close. Columbus is climbing up the charts there, 7-2-1 in their last 10. Well, Tampa Bay is taking a nosedive, going 4-5-1. If that continues, they will miss the playoffs,
Yeah.
and that's another lottery pick for the Preds.
Right.
Then looking at what's the other pick the Preds have? Vegas. Okay, yeah, that. Yeah, them missing, even with a 3-5-2 record, they're still so far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
Which would explain why the Kings are looking to make a move,
Right.
because they're just trying to stay in it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean the Wild Stars. I mean Winnipeg pretty much ran away with the division this year. Um, we're 6 points out of one spot out of. Wait, we're 6 points away from second to last, and we're 7 points out of last.
Yeah.
So I mean, if somehow Tampa can miss the playoffs, that would be a big help. All right. That is so not helping. Um, oh God, I can't even remember that. I think it's there. There we go. Any protection on it? Nope.
Well, just an update too, with O'Reilly approaching 1,000 AHL games. The last thing I can find on a search engine from the AHL is Springfield captain Rob Murray becomes sixth player ever to skate in 1,000 AHL games.
So it's almost never like once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
It's really rare. Um, since we're here, I know you have something you want to say about this.
Yeah, I don't like them getting rid of Rantanen, but Rantanen didn't seem happy. A lot of the locker room is not happy this year.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the Martin Nietzsche's Jack Drury, second and a fourth going to Colorado, for a third to the Blackhawks, and Taylor Hall at Rantanen and Niles Zundorp going to Carolina. Now, the Blackhawks out of this get a third round pick in 2025. That's theirs.
Yeah.
You gave up Taylor Hall for your own third.
Yeah.
And you brought in Rantanen and ate 50% of his contract.
Right.
Now, with that being said, I still think for the short run, Carolina got the better of that deal. If they can't get a deal done with Rantanen, then that deal is dead.
Yeah.
That also means because I think Martin Nietzsche is up too. Let's take a look real quick. Contract. He's got one more year with a hefty little signing bonus. And he comes with a decent cap hit. Okay. Reason I'm bringing all this up is because with everything we got going on, it's not
Now, Jack Drury's been in the league a couple of years now, right?
correct.
And he's an aspiring prospect. I've have we seen him?
Yeah, he played for the Wolves a few years.
That's what I thought. I liked his progress then, just entering the league, and
I didn't like him that he was on the Wolves.
well, right. But I'll take the Jack Drury.
And they get a second round pick this year. They're see, Colorado has what's Colorado got? They got 2 seconds, a fourth, a fifth.
2 seconds, 2/4, and a seventh. It looks like.
Yeah, they don't got a whole lot in the draft department for the next couple of years.
No.
Unless you count late round picks.
Right.
For that. I mean, it's kind of like the Preds here where you look at it and it's like, I mean, it's weird because if Tampa misses the playoffs for any reason,
right,
that trade, which is where we got this,
right.
I mean, it's a master stroke of genius to this point. I mean, if you still look at that trade, let's see, the Preds got out of it. That was traded. That was traded. That was traded. Dylan McKinnon. And then whatever they get with this first. But, I mean, like I said, there's some interesting stuff there. Because I mean, it's about that time too where we start looking into the trade deadline, and
which I believe is the 31st of March.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the 13th. Let me double check. Oh, I was off. March 7th.
And the Admirals play at 7 that day against Doubles.
Yep, 3 p.m. Eastern, March 7th.
So I'll probably be picking you up that day.
Definitely a possibility.
Because we'll sit in front of the TV. I don't know if I'll make that Wolves game because if we're sitting here still trying to clean up the pieces, it's going to make it very difficult. Lo and behold, and all in all, if you look at it, this Preds team, they're a lot better on paper than they give them credit. They battle hard. They played really well tonight. They just couldn't get the puck to go in, from what I've heard. what I heard at the end of the game. I listened to the last about 13 minutes from when we got out of the Admirals game. I literally got in the car, we put it on the radio.
Yeah.
So, from what I heard, it looked like, looked like, I shouldn't be watching hockey and driving.
Right.
No,
That's where in 5 years they'll have glasses with a little TV screen for people watching sports while driving, and the rest of the road will just be there.
yeah. Let's not give them any more ideas than they need. But no, what I'm saying is I think that you know even if this season is a wash, all these guys are coming back pretty much.
Right.
I mean,
And technically, if you want to be real, they definitely did a little bit more than a partial rebuild, but they got the right pieces to do a quick build, and with circumstances, injuries, gelling together as players and coaches and everything, like they are getting better. They've learned a lot. You can sometimes have a wash year when you make
I mean,
this many significant changes and have the injuries they've had.
like so for me, I wouldn't be like. Here's the thing, like on a real note, I wouldn't be surprised to see guys like O'Reilly and Nyquist and Sissons get moved.
Right.
Like those guys, yeah, they're getting up. O'Reilly getting up there. Yeah, he's a manageable cap hit. But like if you move Nyquist, what are you really getting out of it other than opening up $3 million in cap for this year?
Right.
Because he's a UFA next year, so it doesn't really affect. And you got to pay Evangelista next year. Evangelista's still on his RFA, no arbitration, so that's not a problem. However, Willsby does have an arbitration. Willsby will be getting paid. Looks like Noonan and Saros will be the goalies again next year. So unless they make a trade for trading Saros for whatever reason, I wouldn't be sure on that. But by the time Saros' contract's up, he'll be 35 years old. Or 36 years old. Next year, Matt Duchene's buyout goes up by $1 million. Well, Ryan Johansson's $4 million comes off the books. Ekholm, we're still paying him one more year, 250,000. Kyle Turris another till 2027-28 is our last year paying him at $2 million per year. Kyle Turris is retired. I don't see him going back. I think that was just a get the heck off my team move.
Yeah.
There is some upside. Pro Cops RFA, Livingstone's RFA, Del Gaizo's UFA Group 6, which means they have talking rights for an additional week after free agency opens. They'll probably bring back Corona. Murray is a unknown. With that being said, goalie pipeline would probably be very welcomed at this point.
Right.
Like there we go. All right, goalies. We have 3 in the system. Juhok Kola. We got to sign him by the off season, along with Anton Olst. All right, we're gonna go with must sign. Surin, Chishikov, and Konstantin Volkov. Those guys are pretty much there. We do have to sign Isaac Walther, Luke Reed, Chase McLean, and Gutterwell Fontaine. Gutterwell Fontaine would be an interesting one that I'd be interested in. The other 3, not so much. Maybe Isaac Walther, but that might be it. Matthew Wood wouldn't surprise me if he signed. Along with Cole O'Hara, Aiden Fink wouldn't surprise me. Dylan McKinnon, they do got to sign him by June 1st, 2025. I think that because free agency opens up July 1st this year. But yeah, the okay.
Yeah, Tuesday, July 1st, 2025.
Okay.
Free agent market opens at noon.
Okay.
Noon Eastern.
Yeah, and normally me and you are like hawks that day.
Yeah.
We're just all eyes on our phone pretty much.
Right.
The minute that stuff opens, we're like, all right, who's going where? Because some guys already got contracts done.
Right.
Joey Willis, Anton Olsen, Dylan McKinnon, Juha Gekkola. So Gekkola will probably be one of those guys I think Nashville may bring in. I should look and see what they do for slide. All right. David Edstrom. Edstrom is loaned to the Swedish Hockey League. Wouldn't be surprised to see him take a minor little jump. Kalen Lind as well. He is going. Roki Kosick. Tanner Molendijk and Andrew Gibson. So we got two defensemen and a couple forwards that are all signed. I think that looks like he signed with Vegas in July of 23. Was traded to the Sharks. Yeah. So he was signed as entry level. He was drafted in June, 32nd overall. Signed in July. Traded in March to the Sharks, and then traded to the Preds. What was the trade to the Sharks? Sharks get Tomas Hertl. Oh, the Sharks send Tomas Hertl. Wait, I'm confused. Oh, Sharks take Tomas Hertl and Vegas is first in Edstrom for 2/3, one in 25 and one in 27, and then they turn around and take out of that trade to Nashville for Yaroslav Askarov. You get Magnus Corona, David Edstrom in the first for Yaroslav Askarov, Nolan Burke, and the Avalanche's third. Now, when you look at this trade, I think what it's going to come down to is what Edstrom becomes and what the first becomes, because Corona is not going to be on the level of Yaro.
Right. And while you're doing that, I just looked up something quick, but we're talking about the trade deadline, we're talking about free agency. I have an article here from like literally the other day with the preliminary top 20 on the UFAs for 2025. Mitch Marner, Mikko Rantanen, Aaron Ekblad, Nicola Ehlers, John Tavares, Brock Besser, Brock Nelson, Jacob Chikrin, Claude Giroux, Matt Duchene, Marcus Peterson, Brad Marchand, Dmitry Orlov, Jason Zucker, Gustav Nyquist, Aiden Hill, Vladislav Garavkov, Kyle Palmieri, Ryan Donato, and Neil Pionk.
Yeah, because like I'm looking at it too here, and if you look at it, Tavares, Marner, the Leafs got some choices to make there.
Yeah.
I'd say let Tavares walk.
Yeah.
That'd be me, and try and keep Marner.
Yeah.
But Marner's going to want to get paid.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you look at it, yeah, you only put in 15 goals, but 68 assists.
You're right.
So far this year. Tavares 20 goals, 42 assists. So I mean, it's not bad. 42 games, and you're well over a point per game.
Right.
So like, I mean, Nashville wants a 2C. There he is.
Yeah.
There. I mean, Tavares is it. I mean, Jamie Benn too. Do not bring back Ryan Johansson. Claude Giroux would be another one I'd be interested in. Just the way he plays.
Yeah.
May not 50 games, may not be conducive to 43 points, but that's 43 points.
Right.
The Preds can't score. Brad Marchand's a free agent. Brock Nelson's a free agent. What else we got here? Nikolai Ehlers, Taylor Hall, Vladislav Gurikov, Andrew Mangiapane, TJ Oshie, Andrei Kuzmenko, Yanni Gord. Gord would be one I'd be interested in. Zucker, I wouldn't be mind bringing back.
Yeah.
Mikhail Granlund's another one I wouldn't mind bringing back. Aiden Hill, Billy Huso. Okay, those guys are meh. Jacob Chikrin, Christian Dvorak, Sam Bennett's another center I would probably take a look at. Bobby Fabry, Patrick Kane. I think Kane will end up going back to the Blackhawks and retiring. Frederick Anderson, he's going to be a free agent along with Alexander Georgiev. Georgiev signed a deal with Colorado after they won the Cup.
Yeah.
And it just didn't seem that it worked out.
Nope, not at all.
And
I believe he's talking about retiring due to too many injuries as well.
And with having Yarrow there, the Sharks they'll be fine. I think it'll take a long time. Matt Duchene will also be a free agent. That's one of those ones where it's like, how much he loves Nashville.
Right.
I think it's time.
Yeah.
I think you have to, admit your loss and move on. Maybe bring back Tanner Janot.
Right.
Maybe get some of that oomph back you're missing.
Right.
But like I said, it's all right now just wishy-washy. If or whatever have you. I think that when you look at some of this stuff going down the line, I think that Preds right now don't need a lot of pieces. Like I said, they need a one center and maybe a left side defenseman, and just call it a day at that.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's too hard to come, especially when you're only really losing $1 million in cap, and the cap's going up by $1 million, I think.
Right.
So you'll get that back. So maybe seeing where everything is, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of prove the market. And that's the thing. They've got the pieces to win.
Right.
The problem is a lot of them are old.
Right.
And
I mean, it's and like I said too, you can have off years. There's a lot of moving pieces, injuries. I mean, I'm a basketball guy. You look at the Memphis Grizzlies last year, and they were just riddled with injuries. Didn't know who. Were pulling signings left and right, just trying to make a team. And this year they're doing very well. I mean, you can just have that off year with a bunch of circumstances, different changes,
And then and sometimes the changes isn't even to like the players. It's maybe the coach felt more comfortable, made a couple changes, and they didn't work.
right.
And here's my thing: if this nosedives, I would not be surprised to see an off-season coaching move.
Yeah.
I don't think that doing one now
No.
would do you any good. I think that if you make that move now, you're not looking at the market where, you're in, once you're in the off season, you have a lot more time to sit back and go, okay, what went wrong?
Right.
And that's for Trotz, Bruno. I know Poyle's an executive in that office.
Right.
Sean Henry. In Milwaukee, it's Carl Taylor and Scott Nickel and Greg Rollo and Matt Donovan. So the coaching staff would, for me, I would be telling them you're not going home this year.
Yeah.
If you think you're going home, you're sadly mistaken. Because I gave you everything you asked for. And this is what I get.
Right.
Now, this year's draft, and this is just my perspective, not everyone's perspective. Now, there aren't big, other than Higgins. Higgins is having a phenomenal college season. But other than that, it is just stacked, probably 3 rounds deep.
Right. And then sometimes you find the diamond in the rough. Like I'm going to mention a basketball guy again, Nikola Jokic, drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. Everybody passed. And, you can find that diamond in the rough.
I mean, look how many, what was it? Giannis was drafted 15th?
I think, yeah.
Like, been an all-star almost every year with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Like when you look at it, look at guys like a Tanner Janot, even undrafted.
Right.
Like we've had a lot of luck finding
undrafted.
Good.
Yeah.
And I think that we've gotten away from that a little bit.
We have.
And we need to go back.
Right.
We also need to stock the cabinet, which I think will be nice with all the picks we have.
Right.
And with that, if one of them is a later round and someone wants that, they're like, hey, give me a couple thirds,
right.
Fourth, maybe a fifth, and then a second next year.
Yeah.
And, give me whatever you can.
Just don't give me an additional 5 this year, because that means I got to go quickly and make 5 additional drafts.
And if you're at my house watching it, which sometimes you are, he just has a computer in front of him. Yep. We did that last year.
Last 2 years.
It's not bad, though, because the one time I was at the zoo.
Yeah.
I remember when we did the Kraken when Seattle came in the league, and I was sitting there at a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah.
I did my video in the middle of a Walmart parking lot. But what I guess what we were trying to say is that when you look at what Nashville has,
yeah,
versus what they need, it's not a whole lot.
Right.
I think they need to find a system that works for the guys in which they have.
Yeah.
And I think they need to stick to that system. I understand that you want to jumble the lines and all that. If it's working, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Because now you're back to only scoring 1-2 goals a game.
Right.
You messed with the lines. Now the chemistry's all.
Yeah.
God damn it, John Hines. Oops, he's not here anymore. It's just Hines all over again. Couple of good seasons and bye, bye, bye. One good year and bye. Whoa.
Intrigued my brain.
What, with Hines?
Something along that. Let's see. I can find that, but I can't find what I wanted. Okay, I can find this. 27 of the 32 NHL teams have changed head coaches at least once. I was trying to find which NHL team has had the fewest coaching changes in its existence. Because I know Nashville's one of them that hasn't had a lot.
No, we haven't. Uh, I know you might find this a little interesting. Kind of looking to see if there was any additional movement. Um, yeah, you guys are just okay. Brendan Saad, his contract's getting bought out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 32, 6'1", left wing, right wing out of, you know. This year, 43 games played, 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points, minus 14. Has not had a good season since 28 or 2021. You know, it's one of them things where it's just like, I'm not sure on that, but we'll get there. That's kind of my thing right now. Is when you look at the Preds, just from a in the system standpoint, and you look at guys like Joey Willis, I think that Willis looks like he's going to be, I mean, over a point per game with two different teams.
All right.
Like, you don't get to just do that.
I like how Aiden Fink's been doing this year.
Yeah, I mean, over almost almost a point and a half per game.
Yeah.
I mean, Cole O'Hara, same thing. Miguel Marquez, over a point per game. Tyler Mollendijk, almost a point per game with the Madison Hat Tigers. Saskatoon Blades, over a point, at a point per game. Looking at it, Gunnar Fontaine finally gets in Ohio State, gets at a good college team, and voila. 24 games, 25 points, over a point per game. Like, there's a lot there. Hiroki Gosick, just under a point per game. And then in net, it's a lot of Johan Gakko's not having a bad year, 7-7-6. Jacob Malata 13-10-4. Konstantin Volkov. I think it's time to retire Buddy. 0-6, 0-5 on one team, 0-1 on another, and they're not playing him at all.
Yeah.
Volkov, drafted by the Preds in 2016. 5-2 last year, 11-11-6 the year before with a 0-2 record in the playoffs. Went 7-25-4 in Liga. It just seems like he's not doing really well. He's 27, 6'4". I just don't see him coming over.
Right.
And I don't see where I necessarily want him
to. Right. Speaking on all the players, Matt Murray and Joachim Kemmel will be in the All-Star Classic.
And which is Sunday and Monday on NHL Network and Flow TV.
Right.
Or Flow Sports.
Vinny Hinestroza was selected but is unable to.
Due to playing, I believe the Preds actually play Sunday.
Right, so Kemmel was named instead.
Because they're still waiting on full clearance from Evangelista before I think they make that move.
Yeah.
Ryder Ralston came here and I didn't know a whole lot about him. And he's impressive. Like, his motor, when he's out there, it's just 0 to 100.
Right.
No Drake, but real quick.
Yeah.
But, why are you being a pain? On an unrelated note, I do know roughly, I believe Reed Schaefer's season is over. He had to have shoulder surgery of some kind. I kind of heard about it through the grapevine kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish him a speedy recovery. I hope he can get back this year.
Yeah.
But it's not looking, likely. Teddy Stiga winning the World Juniors.
Yeah.
For USA. The USA World Junior.
Yeah.
The Junior Cup. I mean, that's big. He put in a big goal.
Yeah.
And he didn't shy away from the moment.
Right.
And Igor Shurin, Preds' first-round pick, do believe this was Barry Trotz's first pick without the help of David Boyle.
Right.
10 goals, 10 assists, total 20 points plus 10. He has played 28 games in the KHL. We'll see what happens in the time. He said that he was interested in being a Pred once he was done in Russia. See what happens there. I believe Tanner Volodek will be there after the Memorial Cup is done. College, we'll start to see some of those guys sign, whether it be ATOs or whatever have you. But, I mean, college sports are kind of wrapping up.
All right, yeah.
It's getting to be that time of year where it goes literally NHL trade deadline, 2 weeks later, AHL trade deadline, and then ATO contracts. Yeah. So for him, it never stops. Yeah. And then he gets a little break during playoffs of doing signings if he's lucky.
Right.
That guys aren't re-signing contracts because the season's over.
Yeah.
Because you want to get those contracts done before they go home.
Right. Yeah, you do.
because that makes a lot of things a little more difficult. Because you could have friends, family, whatever have you in their ear.
Right.
Um, you know, and that sometimes doesn't help or hurt. It's a shitty situation. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Anyway, folks, it is late here. It is officially 12:30, where we are. We're rolling up to that, and I got to get John home and get back home. So, and then be up in the morning for my family. So I thank you all for watching, and have a great week. We will see you Friday.
I believe so.
Friday's the next game. The Preds play Buffalo. They're just trying to kill me.
Right.
Well, the Preds play Buffalo and the Admirals play Manitoba. Buffalo's been kind of on a heater. Just a fair warning, Preds fans. I'm a fan of both. Buffalo was my original team. I've been a hockey fan since 1995. So y'all weren't even spoken of yet or talked about. So can't get mad at me for having my original team. Thank you all for that. Um, watching guys like Pat LaFontaine, Dominic Hasek, Maximum Vitikenov, and then just the calls from man, it's been so long since I heard him. Yeah. But anyway, I thank you all. Good night.